Welcome to the Baking It Down with Sugar Cookie Marketing podcast. We are going to be as chipper as we can because we are filming 2 episodes today because we will be at the beach next week. But
we know you guys can't live without
hearing
these
angelic
voices.
Who are we to hold you back from your joy?
You guys get us. You get one today, and then you get one scheduled for next
Yes, versus missing a whole week.
God forbid. God forbid.
Yeah. So we are your hosts, Heather and Corey Miracle. Corey is your favorite, and Heather is your B+ team.
Today I said to someone, or yesterday, I gave someone a credit card, and they said last name. I was like, "Oh, Miracle." And he's like, "Really?" And I said, "You've been blessed."
I said that. It didn't go over well last time. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. We are actually the admins.
Do you hear your voice changing?
We are actually admins of a Facebook group called the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group. If you haven't joined, please do. What we decided way years ago when this podcast first started was I sometimes have so much work to do with my hands from making cookies, cake pops, macarons that I can't often just sit down and read the group. So I miss out on a lot of things. So what if we started a podcast?
And this will be our 214th episode. 215th if you count the next one we're about to record. And if you guys are listening to this and you wonder what we look like, these are now uploaded to YouTube. You can go to YouTube and just search Sugar Cookie Marketing, and the playlist is called Watch the Baking It Down podcast.
Nice. Hello to my husband who's watching this one for sure.
Let me play with my hair. Okay, today we wanted to talk about, this will be a buildable thing. We'll come back to this, but I want to talk about pivot. And this is going to touch on some stuff we've already talked about, because that's what marketing is. It's repetitive. But therein lies today's topic. When what you're doing ain't working, but you're doing all the things.
Yeah, you're doing all the things. And I can see how mentally you're like, I'm doing all the things and it's not working. I'm sending the newsletter. I'm posting every day.
Nothing is more frustrating than saying, listen, I've listened to these podcasts. I've done this stuff and I'm still not seeing traction, but my competition is.
Yes. A lot of times you need to narrow down what your ultimate goal is. I see a lot of people like, I'm posting every day. And I'm like, do you want more sales? Are you looking for more engagement?
I find that sometimes when the checklist isn't married to a metric, it can feel lost.
Yes.
Right. Meaning I'm doing all the things. I'm going through this list, but I don't have a clear goal for the things that I'm doing. And thus the things, while they are there, are not working together for a single focused goal.
Yeah.
So that is what we want to talk about. And that's why today's podcast, this day, is not next one. It's called Pivot. When it's not working, you got to get to work.
Here's the thing. Back in the day, Facebook Lives were the best thing since sliced bread.
So funny. And if you guys are on our YouTube channel, I've been uploading all of the past lives. So I hit the thumbnail limit, but I got all the way back to 2021 with Facebook Live. So what I'm doing is to take the keywords from the event listing and put it on YouTube in the event description or the YouTube channel description. I can see how many people would RSVP to those Facebook Lives.
Tons at the beginning.
1,500 people.
Yeah.
Now we're lucky if a Facebook Live pulls in 3. Now tell us why.
The reason why is as social media changes, as people start using and abusing features on a platform, the platforms will degrade certain things that are on there. So Facebook Lives were huge during COVID, and that's why, because a lot of people, that was their only source to get information, news, to connect with people.
Now think of this in terms of Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg said, if I make lives reach more people will move to Facebook.
Yes.
Genius.
Okay, but now the lives have been degraded. It's almost like if we create a live, instead of it pushing out to everybody so they can RSVP, it almost reaches no one. So no one's like, I didn't even know that was a live that was going on.
Here is, and tell me if I'm wrong here, when you go to create a Facebook group, it pre-populates a list of rules, or it used to, it may not anymore, but for a while it did. And one of those rules was do not go live. You used to see it, don't just go live in this group. Because it's crazy when somebody does that.
It does, yeah.
It used to ping everybody.
Yeah,
somebody started going live. So then group admins started saying, don't go live. You can actually disable the ability to go live. Yeah. And now the same content that used to pull in 1,700 people, when I put that content on, will pull maybe 15.
Yeah. So you see that if we were like, back in the day, we used to get 1,500 people to watch Facebook Lives. Keep pushing Facebook Lives.
We'd be spinning all the wheels and making no traction.
But you're like, I'm doing the things. Here's the thing. Sometimes the things that you're doing are no longer the things that work. So that's where the word pivot comes in.
I almost think the only thing worse than doing nothing at all is doing the most and it not working. So that'll be a reason for you. Number one, This is an easy one. Change the time that you're posting. Now, if you use Facebook Planner like I do, it defaults to 10 a.m. Mm-hmm. And that's an Eastern Standard Time, right? So it's defaulting my entire audience who may be, what if they're heavily West Coast people?
Yeah.
It's their 7 a.m. That's rough for them. Corey and I look at our own group, her local community group metrics, and it's telling us 8 p.m. on Fridays is the most active time. If you are using a planner, which I love, and you're posting consistently at the exact same time and you're not seeing great traction, try after hours. If you're doing after hours, try working hours. We had a client and they hosted a seminar at 5 p.m. In the area we live in, 5 p.m. is the time we all sit in traffic together.
Yeah.
It was not a wise time to put a seminar, and guess what? One person showed up. What if they next month put on another seminar and they did it at 5? Is that wise?
It's not wise.
Where should they try? I would try it. They did a weekday at 5. I would try weekend at 10.
Yeah, sure. Here's the thing. Knowing your audience and who's buying from you. Most of the people who buy from me are mothers of young kids.
Great point.
So I need to know in the morning, probably they're busy. They got a million things going on. Maybe a good time for me to post is around car pickup line around 8 p.m. when they're sitting in the car, they have nothing to do, they're on their phones, or after dinner time when the kids are going to bed around 7 p.m., 8 p.m. And that's really pivoting to know my audience and not just posting. I post every single day at 9 a.m. and I'm getting 0 engagement, 0 reach.
So I want to speak to the person who is that consistent because I love you.
Yeah.
And you are me and we are thee. You may say, okay, well, the twin said don't post at 10, so I will post every day at 6:30 p.m. as that is the time that I also have eaten dinner and my kids are doing their own thing. Like, it is, be flexible.
Yeah.
You may need to test. Remember, it's 6:30 on a weekday. Mm-hmm. Maybe it'd be 7:30 on a Saturday. We need to be flexible and then also marry that consistency. So you're going to do this for a period of time. We're going to test these different times and these different days. And unfortunately, different content types to see which one resonates, to see which one kind of hits better. And you're going to need a long period of time to kind of create enough data points to make that shift decision.
Yeah, because if you post one time at 6:30, get 2 extra likes, sometimes that's going to signal to your brain, okay, every day at 6:30.
And then you're going to be back here saying, I did the things you said, and I'm in the same bucket where it's not working anymore. So, what I like to do is kind of constantly mix it up. You'll see a lot of it goes up at 10. You'll know why Facebook Planner defaults at. But then I like to randomly throughout the week add in some new content at random times. Sometimes I'll say to Corey, I do long form content in the Facebook group on Sundays. I said, it's falling flat on its face. Yeah. She was like, because I think it's long form content on a Sunday.
Yes.
She said maybe long form content on a Friday where we're done baking.
Where we're sitting on the customers who didn't show up on time.
Mm-hmm. So again, you see that it was, should the long form content change? Should the image change? Should there be no images? Should it change the day? Right. So we're constantly asking like, hey, this isn't working. I've tried it for a while now. It doesn't seem to be a hit or miss. It's just a miss consistently. Can we switch it? Number 2, Corey brought this one up. Mix in different copy formulas. So, I know people hate the word formula.
Yeah, and what copy is just the caption that goes along with the post that you're making. So you have a beautiful photo, the words that you are typing, that is what is called the copy.
So Corey had mentioned that she saw a post in the group and someone's like, I am posting all the time. I am writing the copy. So Corey goes to look at it and Corey's like, every piece of copy she wrote, the pitch was truncated, which means it's after the see more.
So here's what it was. Every post, she was asking an engaging question. Unfortunately, it started off with a fact about her, and then under the see more was a question for them. But you have to realize if they're not even stopping to engage with the post, you've lost them because you've made it about you first and foremost. Mm-hmm. So sometimes working that engagement part into higher into the caption or lower or into the comment section and really working to see where your audience's eyes are actually can almost help you break through that I'm posting the questions and I'm getting no reactions.
And the reason why I defer to a copy formula is because there's so many. And what's a copy formula? It's whatever that thing is. And I just Googled it the last couple podcasts where you put the word in, replace the word with the thing. An eagle lammer. I don't know what it's called. When you say, okay, AIDA, that's one I kind of like because it kind of covers all our bases. It's grab their attention, gain their interest, create a desire, and then give them an action to take. So you say, okay, well, I'm going to just do the AIDA formula forever. No, again, you, me, we, thee. We're not going to just repeat. We're going to mix in new stuff. So the PASS formula, and then there's the before and after bridge. The before and after bridge is how infomercials are. Are you having a rough time getting your pants clean? and then you have the gray image, and then you say, with this product, your pants will always be clean. So we took a problem and we came to a solution, right? You can't do that. Don't know. Here's a before and after bridge for a cookier. Don't know what to get, the hard to buy for a mother-in-law? How about something that won't sit on her shelf and she'll love it? And it's custom made to the thing she uniquely likes. A set of custom cookies, right?
Yeah.
If we can mix those in, maybe it'll make it'll make our copy more interesting.
Yes, and that is switching it up. We love copy formulas because they really give you an outline to follow versus when you get there and you're like, oh, I don't know, thanks, Billy, for turning 4, and that's what a lot of bakers end up going to. Thanks so much, Trisha, for your 73rd anniversary.
And that's the biggest offender I see with really consistent people. Yeah. And it's hard for me to even punish the consistent. Because you're doing the thing.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm running out of words.
You're doing the most and you're getting the least. And I think that's unfair. But there's a small tweaks, these pivot tweaks that we could do.
There's a local shop that me and Heather talk about. They go out of business every month. But what she's done is it's almost like she got hit with a ton of engagement when she first announced that she was going out of business. So she said, ooh, this content bucket, this caption, this thing works.
What I like to call the strategy is a boy who called closed.
Yeah.
When you have a going out of business sale, you'll see there's furniture companies where you're talking about. What's it called? Is it Ashley Furniture?
There's so
many. But the strategy is they hire these 3 cars, like 3 traffic cars, like cars you and I would buy off of the lot of CarMax, and they'll affix these permanent signs, and it'll say going out of business sale, and these cars will just drive in traffic all day on Saturday and Sunday. It is a wild marketing tactic, but what happens is we're like, going out of business, they got to clear out the showroom. Great sales. It's such a trope now. You know that there was no going out of business sale. It's a going out of business sale strategy that works on newcomers who aren't familiar with I'm going to call it a scam.
It is.
Right.
Definitely a scam. But you'll see they're like, oh, I got so much engagement the first time I posted. Let me keep doing that. But you'll see each and every single time you reuse something over and over again, you're getting less and less. So while the AIDA formula is fantastic, overusing it every single time, you're going to see those numbers and you're like, I don't know, I'm doing what the twin said. It's time to switch it up. PAS, problem, agitate, solution. And that's where you say, hey, do you have a problem? What if it was worse? Yeah. I can solve both of those. Yeah.
And you can see that creates more interesting copy, and that makes more interested audience members.
Yeah. So while we do love someone who's dedicated and consistent.
You are the person that can be molded into the final form. You are a Pokemon card that hasn't evolved all the way. You are halfway there. You are doing the most. Now a small tweak, and you'll see better results from that, which I think you're already there.
Yeah.
Moving on. You're going to hate this. Everyone hates this. If your photos aren't working, Reels it is.
I want to say, I have seen people's content. Here's the thing. Sometimes bakers overdo Reels, and you'll just get, it'll be a lot of decorating ASMR, and you do get a lot of reach with that, which can grow your page, but it's growing your page with not the ideal audience.
Again, so you're doing the most.
You're doing the most.
You're doing the thing.
Yeah. If we're trying to grow a local audience, a good reel be going when you're at the farmer's market to take a quick video of what the parking situation looks like, or if the watermelon guy is there, because he's the most popular, everyone wants to know. Creating reels that are more locally focused, in addition to the ASMR videos, is going to help you. What I see most bakers do is they do the ASMR videos, get tons of reach, get page followers, and then it trickles off. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I don't know where my engagement is. I'm not getting any sales. I'm getting no reach. And it's because you've inflated your page growth number that when you finally post something for sale, they're like, well, I'm not interested in that. I was interested in the decorating videos.
How unfair as a small business owner and marketer to do the thing we were told to, Reels, to create profit for the business and to create growth on our page, for it to turn around and not pad our pockets.
You're right. And here's the one thing I will say. A lot of bakers do get offered the creator rewards program. So you got to say, what is their end goal here? Is their end goal of their Facebook page? Because we said goals are going to dictate what you do. Mm-hmm. Is their goals to get more local sales? Because if it is more local sales, you're not going to do so many ASMR decorating videos. If they're getting paid through the creator rewards program, maybe that is their end goal.
I'm going to tell people who aren't familiar with TikTok what ASMR is. It's now kind of, you can extrapolate it to a bunch of different things where there's watching something that feels good to watch, and you have no idea why. I will watch an auto detailing video.
Yes.
I will watch a carpet cleaning video.
Yeah.
I'll watch a hazmat cleanup. I'll never buy any of these things.
Yeah.
I will watch the video with you. I'll follow you. I'll watch everyone you said. And I become an impression that goes to pay these people, right?
Yes.
But that's their job. They'll do these free cleans, this mower, SB mowing on TikTok. He'll come in and he'll go to strangers' houses and their houses are overgrown, and he'll say, I have a YouTube channel. The views are what pays me. Can I mow your lawn?
So he says it, case in point, I would like to do your lawn for free because I'm getting paid elsewhere. So you have to think like, oh, your favorite creator, your favorite cookie baker out there, which there's some big names. Where do their goals lie? Because
right here, I know you guys just had an idea. You're like, maybe that is where I'm going to take my business. It is ruthless. It is a content generating slave master that makes you turn the camera on every day. Someone in the cookie college was like, hey, I got invited to the Creator Fund, so should I accept it? And I said, you might want to, but don't make it your focus. If it's your focus, which they want it to be your focus,
they do, because
you will stop selling locally.
So here's the thing, Heather's saying they want it to be your focus. Meta's job is to keep people on the platform. If they could turn you into a content creator and you no longer make any local sales, that helps them. So they're making tons from advertisers and they're giving you a little token of that money through the Creator Rewards program. You got to think, do you want to focus your business on local sales, or do you want to become a content creator? Because I will say, making a video takes forever.
Yes.
It does.
Making a video people want to watch.
Yeah.
Then having to make 50 of those videos. A sad aside, I was in some car group or something, and there was this guy who had a performance shop. He's almost our age, if not younger than us, and he'd gotten diagnosed with melanoma cancer and had gone in, and he said this. He said, I'm not going to, YouTube pays my bills. He said, but it requires so much from us that I knew I should have gone to the doctor earlier, but I have to put out a piece of well-edited, formatted content every Wednesday, or YouTube punishes me, that I just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
And now it's spread. Now he's got to shut down the YouTube channel anyways. So just understand, like, if that guy's like, I couldn't even go to the doctors when I knew I should have, that is what these systems want out of you.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Reels. You're like, girls, you just saw me do Reels and then you just beat me to a pulp about it.
But it's to have a goal with the Reels.
Right. So, okay. Now we want to say, okay, the Reels, well, you just said not to do ASMR content, but you said to do Reels. Where's the gap in between there? Like what you said, hyper-local things. I'm going to the farmer's market here in Lake Ridge, Virginia. Here's all the vendors you'll need to check out. Corey will do it. She'll go to Yoder's Dutch Delight, a new donut shop that opened. And then she'll be able to tell people on her page, guys, you got to check out Yoder's Dutch Delights if you just need a quick fix. And I'm your cookie girl. And trust me, I know a good dessert.
The people who are watching that video, who resonate with that video, who'll stick around to the end of that video are local people, because Yoder's Dutch Delights is only located near my house.
Right.
So that's the goal behind that, is still creating local content. Another one, if you're like, I really don't like to leave my house, you setting up for a pop-up outside of your house. You packing the DIY kits for the orders tomorrow.
This is all good content that feeds the goal of more local cookie sales, becoming the local cookie baker, being identifiable by my local audience. TikTok popular, right? This guy shows up on my feed. He's in Annandale, Eden Center, ordering pho or whatever. So I save the video, follow the guy. I'm like, a guy exploring Eden Center. I'd love this. Click on his profile. No, he drives across America.
I know exactly.
So I save the video. I unfollowed the guy, but not because he wasn't good content, because I'll never be where his next video is. He went to a couple restaurants in the area. I will try them out. So again, that content, who do I want to follow me? Who do I want to reach? It would be cool to say you have 1 million followers.
Sure.
But the people who have 1 million followers have blood, sweat, and tears earned this never-ending taskmaster.
Yeah.
4, mix up your content buckets.
So we've talked endlessly about content buckets. What content buckets are, if you are unfamiliar with it, is different things you pull from to create content for your page. Instead of being like, here's a set I made, here's another set I made, here's another set I made. That is very boring content. We love that you're a cookie decorator, but you got to keep your audience engaged and always being like, order from me, order from me, order from me.
Let's come up with 5 content buckets right now. I'm going to say about the baker. Easy.
Love that.
Behind the scenes.
Love it behind the scenes.
Throwback Thursday, not my favorite, but I'll like it.
Okay, yeah.
Here's my talent growing. Featured set.
Okay.
Call to action event.
Yeah, like class or something.
Right.
Or
so class, vendor, pop-up thing. So those are 5 content buckets. And I'm saying a lot of you, when you're like, I'm doing everything and nothing's happening, you're pulling from a single content bucket. I was telling Corey that I was talking to a therapist, and I was like, sometimes when I tell people I don't understand what they just said, they say it louder using the exact same words. And I'm like, that didn't make me understand it anymore. kind of when you always pull from the same content bucket and you're like, it's not working, so I'll post twice as much. You were yelling the same thing your audience said, we don't really understand.
Yeah.
So you would grab from a different content bucket. And if you're posting 3 times a week, that'll take you through a week and a half where you just circle right back to the front. And you're going to see that your audience resonates with some content more than the other. So here's a good example for the Facebook group. On Wednesdays, we do Wednesday Wins. On Wednesdays, I also do the Wednesday newsletter post.
Yeah.
On Monday, I do the calendar countdown. Tuesday, I do a baker poll. Thursday, I do a meme. Friday, I do a water cooler question.
And Amy does, what's your...
Friday.
Yeah, best set of the week.
On Saturday, there's something, and Sundays that long form content I'm testing. So that each time you come to the group, not everyone posts on Wednesday Wins. Not everyone laughs at the memes. Not everyone reads the long form content, but there's something for everyone. And the same thing works with your audience. Some of these content buckets, I'm like, yeah, that wasn't working. We're going to get rid of him.
Yeah.
When he doesn't work for months, I have tested it. And I'm like, I just can't get him no matter how I tweak him.
Yeah.
Can't get this one. Throw the bucket out.
Yeah.
So you're going to mix up your content buckets. That's probably the biggest offender I see.
I think because it's hard to, like, I've been doing this for years, and my content bucket of my favorite farmer's market has been poured out from.
But your audience is ever growing. The algorithm is ever changing.
Yes.
Corey could just have a local content bucket called Farmers Markets, where she just, every Saturday she gets a chance, could go to different farmers markets and create a reel from them.
And here's the thing. And you're like, well, there's only 5 farmers markets. Okay, we created 5 good reels. The next time I go to the farmers market, I'm going to highlight some vendor in there that I really, truly like.
Now she's taken, I'm limited to only 5 videos too. She's limited to 5 times however many vendors are at the event.
Yeah.
Right?
So my honey guy, like if you guys wondered where the honey comes from in my oat honey bread, here is the shop I get it from.
Mm-hmm. You can do baking tips as a one. Now that one's going to be a little broader because everyone could use a tip, but you're also still resonating with people in your audience who are like, oh, that's good. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Corey will give away like a drop cookie recipe that she has. Sometimes it's even some she found online. She's like, hey, I baked these and here's what they turned out to be.
Yeah, because sometimes you see recipes online. You're like, well, I don't know that they're a food photographer. It might not look how it is, but I'll be like, I made it. Actually tasted pretty good, and here's what it looked like.
So even again, before your next excuse pops in front as a roadblock to what we're saying, she's literally getting a recipe online and making it.
Absolutely. It's my favorite thing. I'll just scroll on TikTok, that whatever they made look good, let me remake it.
Sometimes she'll make our family all decorate a cake pop, and then we'll take a photo together. Again, just another great content bucket that incorporates people's faces.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5, and we're almost done with this podcast. Diversify your reach. Okay. The algorithm. I was talking to somebody about this, and he was like, it was really boring industry, finance. He's like, I'm just really worried I'm going to annoy my audience with how much I post. I was like, nobody's seeing it.
Right.
If you had the secret to annoy your audience, please let a girl know.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to reach.
Yeah.
And you can see, okay, the Sugar Cookie Marketing Facebook page has 116,000 followers. Corey posted a reel, went viral. And at my best, I get 50 comments, and I love each one of those. Because me, a 50 comment post, that one popped. I was like, wait, look, this one popped, screenshot. But nobody's seeing anything.
Yes.
So what we want to do, instead of saying, hey, nobody on Facebook's seeing anything, let's pummel them with more. Essentially, we also want to broaden our horizons, because if it's, lives were a big thing. Now they're not.
Yeah. A lot of people love to say, I've been shadow banned. My content doesn't get pushed out to anybody. Is shadow banning real? We don't know. But a lot of people are like, this account is useless now because no one ever sees my content. Do you have to think, what is the goal of your content?
I used to not believe in shadow banning. Now I do.
Why?
Specifically because Facebook says, we don't like how you posted, so we're going to make your post reach fewer people.
Oh, I've
and in a weird way, that's a version of shadow banning.
Yes, for sure.
An algorithmic. If now I have a creator profile, my personal profile.
Yes.
I don't use it. You guys are missing out on nothing. But it will be like, hey, the one post you made this year performed really well. We're going to show whatever you post next to more people. Come to Papa.
Yeah.
So you can see that that again is another taskmaster. But if we have a newsletter, this podcast is a great example of diversification. That Facebook group, man, Facebook groups are favored. Facebook groups are not favored. Sometimes their content is shown.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll click on a profile of somebody and it'll be like, they've never ever checked back into this group ever one time in 5 years. So just me being like, okay, well the group's hard to make reach. Let me just triple down on the group. I think we should say, I'm going to implement these strategies, but I'm also going to diversify my ability to reach my audience. And this is what this podcast does.
Yeah. You have to think the way the algorithms work, you've been around, you've been baking for 5 years. People have followed your account over the years, but maybe something new has popped up in their feed. Maybe they got into the hobby. That mandala dotting was something that I got into. So when I joined those groups, that was the only thing showing up in my feed. Well, I still liked the pages from before. That Facebook was like, no, who cares about the pages before? This is what she's into. This is what's going to keep her on the platform.
Here's what I want to tell you guys. Grab your cell phone. Go to your Facebook page. You go to your profile. Click on the hamburger menu. I'm on an Android. And scroll down to groups. And you'll see just how many groups you're in that you are not shown content from anymore that you've forgotten about. Now, before you leave the group, click on it. Click on the group and like the most recent post, regardless of what it is. Unless it's about like murder, don't do that. But like if it's a hobby, if it's a mandala, rock dot, go heart the most recent rock post and say, this is great. You'll suddenly see that post, that content from that group reaches your feed again.
Because you're indicating to Meta, hey, this is what I want to show in my feed.
It'll keep me here to see your ads if you show me this.
So you have to think, your audience is the same thing as you. They've joined groups, they've liked pages, and your page has now fallen out of their feed. And it's because maybe you're so consistent with the wrong content that it's never bringing them back in.
So with these small tweaks will help get more of those people engaged, but some of them are just too far out of our reach, right? Here's a great example of how we use this podcast and all the avenues. So we record the podcast and I upload it to a host called Buzzsprout and pushes it to all the podcast players you know. Don't stop there. I'll actually, before I post, tonight on the page, the Facebook page, I'll post a screenshot of the free transfer sheet you'll get if you sign up for the Wednesday newsletter that goes out the next day. What's the Wednesday newsletter about? It's about the podcast. That content in the Wednesday newsletter, I'll post to our Instagram, a Facebook page, a Facebook group, and that repeats itself every week.
And from those, I'll share it to the stories because some people only envelop their content via stories.
And it goes to YouTube. So you see that unfortunately, most of us use Gmail. So we're using Gmail and we're using YouTube, owned by Alphabet or Google. And then we use Meta. We use the Facebook page, Facebook groups, Instagram. We also use newsletters, Gmail. Right, stuff like that. So you can see that it's all encompassing and every week is a battle.
But you're going to think, wow, twins, you must have bazillions of listens every single week. We don't.
Fight for every single one of them.
Yeah.
Week after week, because you're consistent, but you have to be consistent. And then within that content, we're testing out new ways to see if we can get somebody to be interested.
Yeah. So Heather used to post like a different graphic, and then recently she changed to kind of what's trending, those little
Apple Notes.
Yeah, Apple Notes, which is just
Please
something.
Please know, I don't own an iProduct, so I had to make the Apple Notes in Photoshop.
But what she's doing is we're testing creatives, which that means the photo, if it's video that we need to do, if it's a soundbite, a screen grab from YouTube, to get people to click, because people do grow disinterested in the same content over and over and over again. And it's nothing about you. It's not that they don't like you. It's that you've fallen out of their feed because something just a little bit more interesting has found its way into there.
Missing one. I post all of the Wednesday newsletters to the website.
Yeah.
So it is, you can just see how when nothing's working, it all kind of needs to work together. And then within each of those avenues, you got to make it, you got to tweak it, pivot. And what works today won't work tomorrow. And what worked 10 years ago may work tomorrow. Oddly. It's how these platforms are ever changing.
I've seen cookie content accounts who've grown hundreds of thousands of followers, but their posts will have 11 likes on it. And it's because they're doing the same thing. The thing they did 5 years ago, they're doing the same thing today.
Let me tell you, I've been in marketing since I was 21. You've been in marketing and sales for as long. But back when you and I first started, 2017, we started working together.
Yeah.
You could still buy followers and it would make a ton of sense.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because there was not this heavy algorithm that was weighing this engagement rate. Instead, it was this social proof.
And everything was chronological. So at the end of the day, I still could get some likes.
And if you guys don't remember the beautiful heyday that was chronological ordering, it meant that every time you posted, if I posted at 2:30, everyone who checked their feed and scrolled back to what happened at 2:30 would see my post regardless of the content.
Yeah. Now that exists no longer. There's not one
question. Better or worse?
Better for the end user.
Because imagine today when everyone, all these small businesses on Facebook, and they're like, if I got in the feed, guaranteed, I'm just going to pummel you with sales.
Absolutely. And I see them all the time. And the thing is, someone posted in there's these business groups around Northern Virginia, and they're called the Social Collectives. And one of the admins posted today, I will learn more about you from you engaging with a morning post than I ever would from you dropping a sales post. And it's true, because you're like, I just want to the people who are constantly sharing their sales posts to all these groups. They're probably shared it in 20 different groups, but have seen zero uptick in anything.
And here's what I want to say. The reason why that was okay at the beginning is because Facebook was about personal profiles and your profile and our relationship. And if you said something, I'd be like, well, I said before I said at 2:30. When it switched to an external connection, meaning I can connect with a business or these groups or just this random ravioli showing up in my feed, it needed the algorithm to limit, because then I'm not seeing what happened. You said it, 2:30.
Absolutely. So instead of just making it so you're like, wow, I'm just over inundated by content I don't want to see. You're telling Meta and these platforms, here's the content I want to see. And they're saying, great, that is the only content we're going to show you. So if you are a baker and your page has fallen out of those feeds, we got to get a little creative so we can get back in there.
Mm-hmm. And that's why people track trends. Sometimes the trends can like resuscitate you. They're kind of hard to follow because you got to extrapolate what the trend is and apply it to your business. Yeah, and that takes some brain cells. Send them brain cells.
Yeah.
So that is the recap. So just to go through the list again, and this is great to implement if you're frustrated or you're like, I'm fine now, but when I get back to really baking, I do get frustrated. This is something to keep in your back pocket. 1, change your time of posting. Very easy thing to structure there. Change the time, change the day. See, mix it up.
We're being cognizant and testing it though. We're not just going to choose a random time and hope for the best.
Post it.
There we go.
Now. 2, use different copy formulas. If you don't use copy formulas at all and you're frustrated, try a couple copy formulas. AIDA, before and after bridge, the problem, agitate, solution. There's so many. You find one that resonates with you. Photos not hitting. We're living in a Reels world.
Yeah.
Try a few Reels. That doesn't mean abandon photos altogether. That means mix in new content. Content buckets. Now, we talked about content type. Content buckets, the Reel and the photo can both move into the same bucket. Mm-hmm. And that bucket could be the Farmer's Market Challenge. It's a great one. We're moving into Farmer's Market season. Saw the fireworks booth being put out. Tell me where all the fireworks booths are.
Heather made me do a content bucket. Our favorite waitress at California Pizza Kitchen is moving away to Disney World.
Can't even hate her.
So what Heather made me do was she said, bake her some cookies. I'll take a picture of you with her before she leaves. And that's a whole content bucket that I can use.
1, we really like California Pizza Kitchen. 2, this has been our waitress for 2 years. Yes, we have long-term relationships with our waitresses and our wait staff. My favorite thing, they fight over us when we get there.
Yeah.
And then 3, it mirrored. 1, Corey turned the California Pizza Kitchen cookie into a cookie logo. And then she took Disney's head, the Mickey Mouse head, and turned it into a pizza kitchen. And now she can say, hey guys, I was just telling our aunt about it. I was like, yeah, California Pizza Kitchen, when Corey ordered the salmon, and she said, oh, I thought it was a pizza place. I said, it is, but it's so much more.
Right.
Now Corey can incorporate that content when she makes a post.
So here's the thing. Instead of being like, thank you, Shauna, for being my waitress. Here's the cookies I made for you. That's very intro me. What I want to be like, guys, I've gone to California. What is your go-to? What is something that isn't on the menu that you have to have? Because I want to order it too. So we're creating a conversation.
Yeah, and Corey can recommend the chicken lettuce wraps.
Chicken lettuce wraps are dynamite shrimp.
Dynamite shrimp. And their pizzas are good too.
Yeah.
Chicken piccata.
My one just long con tip that I want to say, a lot of people are like, I'm posting every day, I'm seeing nothing. Sometimes the issue is you posting every single day. You have to think, and this is just a strategy session here. When you're posting every single day, the person who liked the post on Monday, the person who liked the post on Tuesday, and the person who liked the post on Wednesday, those are 3 people that are now pulled out over 5 days of content because you post every day. If we narrowed it down and posted twice a week, that means 3 people who like the post each one here, they're on the first post.
Hot take. You hate my hot takes. Warm take.
Lukewarm,
moderately heated take. If you're posting so frequently, how is the quality of your post across those posts?
Right.
If you are able to just knock content out of the park, and every post you make is a great reel, followed by a farmer's market bio and then, in which case, please tell me how many hours you have in your day, because that's fascinating. Yeah. If you're like, oh, well, I mean, I'm posting content, I'd wonder if it's, thank you, Jason, for turning 1. Thank you, Billy, for turning 3.
Instagram, post every day. It's the platform for it. That content is not evergreen. It's very minute. Facebook, if that's where you get your sales, I would suggest bulking your content. So the person who likes it all throughout the week, now we forced them to like one single post. When a post gets more reach, it gets pushed out to more people because you signal to Meta, this is a good post. People want to see it. When you're posting every single day and each post gets 1 like, That's going to be your average. It's not knock out the park content.
I would take it back to the basics and rebuild it from there and save you guys some time. If you're posting like every hour on the hour, say, let me peel this back.
Yeah.
Let me start incorporating some strategy here with the common goal. What's my common goal? Maybe your common goal could be as simple as once I reach 10 likes per post, once my posts consistently get 10 reactions, I'll have met my goal and then I can reassess.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
If you could get consistently 10 reactions per post and it's not always your mom, love our moms, that would be a neat little
That would be
goal.
your trajectory is going upwards.
Because then you can say, okay, my next goal is 20 likes per post. That strategy is really easy to kind of map out. I think sometimes when we're like, I want to go viral. What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
What's the end goal? Viral could be, if you get 100 likes, 150 could be considered.
When I told someone about that, don't post every day, they're like, but you said literally if we're not putting content out there, we're going to fall out of the feeds.
They're not wrong.
They're not wrong. Here's the thing. You have your core group of people. Let's say my core group of people who are always going to engage are Heather and my mom. Yes. So Heather and my mom are going to engage with any content regardless. Mm-hmm. It's trying to break free of that and getting more likes per post by giving them less post to like. Fewer. So that fewer. Grammar, please. Are you kidding
I think you're going to hear me when I said that.
Are you kidding me?
I think you're going to hear me. I think it's great. So, and then did I get to the last one?
I think so.
Diversify your reach. Yeah. So we love to talk about Facebook because most of us do that, and that includes Instagram. Corey touches on TikTok, which is more of a wider open net. But newsletters, and we have this podcast. I'm not saying start a podcast, but a local community group. Corey and I are big proponents of that. It allows us to have a lot more access to local people.
I actually took Heather's tips she did on the...
Everybody, hold on. Listen up.
Heather was like, just so you know, the whole podcast topic on how to sell in community groups, you're not utilizing that with these local groups. And technically, you might not think it. I am a lurker in most groups. I don't like to post. I'll digest the content 24/7. I'm just not one who likes to go post in the local groups. So what I did was when an admin posted, I'd go comment on it, and they're just asking like engaging questions like, what's your plans for the week? What's your business goal for the week? What did you do for this weekend? What's your favorite restaurant?
So Corey told me a couple weeks ago, she's like, I'm going to test it. I'm going to test the theories, the things that we talked about. I'm going to test it in this group on Monday. She sends me a screenshot of the admin of the group posting a graphic that had her logo in the middle and said, guys, if you want cookies, go talk to this girl.
Here's the thing. In those groups, never did I once do a sales post about my cookies. But what it did was me engaging with their content,
specifically the admins,
brought them to click to my profile and discover that I was this baker. That
did you pay them?
Did not. Paid them in my comments and my attention.
And as an admin of a group, every time you guys comment on something I post, Sugar Cookie Marketing Group people, thank you. It is a wild ride to try to get, even I posted yesterday, like, what's everyone, have you joined a networking event and have you seen it change your business? No comments. Even I was like, I wrote him.
Yeah, it's hard. It's just like honestly posting to your Facebook page and getting no reactions. It's investing in those people that do give you the reactions in the comments.
It is. Because sometimes we're like, yeah, good. I already know I got you. But when we're like, hey, imagine Corey, Facebook page, right? Mixing bowl, whatever. And she has a business that's constantly engaging. Like somebody switches to their business page and goes to her posts and likes and comments. I wouldn't be surprised if one day you turn around and be like, hey, thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's such a dog-eat-dog algo world out there.
Yeah, on the Facebook page. And I'd recommend you guys following it because it's got different content than what we post in the group. I kind of make it a more free-for-all. I don't like, force a rule. And drag your clients there. They can see it you posted it. But like, I'll get these drive-by shooting sales comments.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, wow, I don't even know you. You don't even like, when I go to delete the post and ban the person for, because that's just.
Yes, for sure.
They're like, they don't even like the page. Can't even ban it.
No, it just ended up in their feed and they're like.
And you just thought, let me take a little dookie on the thread.
Little duke.
And I'm like, you invested nothing. You came here to take. You are bottom of my shoe gum.
Yeah.
In regards to my reach.
Right. So
but you may say, but a comment's a comment. I like that one.
Having that same reaction when you're like getting in the community groups, we're not going to just drive by, post a sales post and scooch along by without engaging in the content. It really did work. And that lady didn't know I was a baker before I started this. Okay. Scooch us on.
Fun and exciting news. Cookie Design Lab. Heard the podcast last week, heard my cries for saying I would love somebody to sponsor the texting questions. And they said, you know what? count us in. We'll start today.
So wait, tell me. So Cookie Design Lab is
an
technically
STL software.
Yes, it's.
I really do like it. Okay, if you want to sign up, you can use code TWINS to save 15%. But she said, "Hey, what if we give away 1 month of Cookie Design Lab for the people who text in the questions?"
So one person each week will win a
Same
membership.
rules apply. You got to pick 7. You got to pick it up. You got to message me within the 7 days or you're out. And she will give you a month of Cookie Design Lab.
Oh, that's so nice.
So it can't be called the stupid questions. What do we call it? The STL text? The ST text? The STL texts? We got to think of a jazzy
We'll have to think of a
name.
jazzy little cool name.
So Cookie Design Lab is a new text-in sponsor. She said we launched it today. So the text questions today.
Okay.
Thank you, people who risked it because there was nothing to win.
I know. Appreciate you.
Maybe they just genuinely want
Appreciate
our
ya.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, this winner, 434 area code. What do you think?
434. That is going to be a Florida right there.
It's Virginia.
Oh, 434. I don't
Lynchburg, Charlottesville, and Danville. Hello, neighbor. Hello, my southern neighbor. Hello. Adding to the what to do in June and July to prep for the holidays, can you please add a segment of year-end review? Tasks that if we had a fiscal year ending in June 30th. Okay, that was confusing. So her fiscal year, or fiscal year is your financial year.
Yeah.
So she's like, it starts in June and it ends in June. That's her 12 months.
I see.
A lot of times fiscal years start in January, end in January. I know January is supposed to be for that mess. Oh, she beat me to it. I know it's January supposed to be for that mess, but in reality is I'm hungover from the holidays and spring is my breathing down my throat. So I do it in my slower months. Not a bad strategy.
Right.
It is a slower, June, July, and August is slower for bakers. So she's like, and they're longer, lazier days, and I feel nice and a relaxed summer vibe. I think you could actually set myself up for year-end task in Q3 than in Q1. So she's saying what her year-end task. I think we actually talked about this in January, maybe even December last year. But what I like to do, and Corey had actually talked about this, clean out your Google Drive. Clean out your, in the Cookie College, I'll talk about this in a second. In the Cookie College, we're doing a photo cleanup. That's your task, my man, right there. You're going to hate it. So we take so many photos, and we're doing a photo challenge, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. On June 1st, you had to check in with how many photos were on your device, right?
The winner was 84,000.
84,000 images on a device.
Yeah.
And then likely that device is backed up. So technically you have 84,000 times 2.
Yeah.
Which is insanity. It's actually pretty poor business practice because if you're paying for photo storage for photos you'll never use, that's a waste of your money. A year-end task for her June, July, and August would be to get down, and you're going to hate this, all your images are in one location. That location is backed up. Mm-hmm. Within there, you only have photos that you would actually post. And within those photo sets, you would only have 1 to 3 photos.
At the end of the day, what you made 5 years ago isn't the same caliber of what you made now.
Corey and I talked about it. I said, would you send a client a picture from 5 years ago just because it matched the set that they want, but your skill sets change? And Corey said no, because then I'd have to explain to them that handwriting, it looks better now. Just imagine a better handwriting. It wouldn't be a good sales tactic.
So those photos that are taking up your storage, your computer storage, your backup, your phone speed and everything like that are just costing you money at this point. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to, what 5 years ago Corey made, will never repost that to my socials because I am better than what I was 5 years ago. Yeah. So I need to cut my losses. If I want to have the same first photo, like so I can reference like how much I've grown, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But if I have a set that'd
be a single folder with maybe 30 photos.
Yes. Yeah.
Of like where I started.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd call it.
I just know when I was first baking, everything got a photo. I was so excited about everything that I made that I was taking photos right and left. Mm-hmm. Mid-set, I added wings to the bee. He got a photo. No face, now a face, go got another photo.
Yeah.
That's stuff to delete.
To just purely let it go. And it's one of the hardest breakups you'll ever go through. I would clean that out. I would have it so that my photos are folder, nested, correctly named. All of its content I'd actually use, and I would have it stored in a single location, and it would not be on my mobile device.
Yeah. So what Heather was talking about in the college is this is the challenge that we're going through. And every other month we choose a challenge. One was walking, one was water. This is the photo challenge. And it's not taking better photos. It's really
cleaning up your photos.
Yeah. So when you're in a community group, someone asked for a Pooh Bear set. Hey, I'm looking for a baker to make a Pooh Bear set. My baby shower's coming up. The fastest person.
Corey says this. Corey it creates an anxiety. She says when somebody grabs their phone, she's like, it all becomes slow motion if you're watching on YouTube. She's like, and when they start scrolling back to find the image they're referring to, Corey said time stands still for the rest of us. They are not cognizant of the fact that we're all just staring at the back of the brick phone. Right?
I would say my HVAC technician yesterday wanted to show me his dog in the snow. Okay, last time it snowed was sometime in February.
That's when you start adding, like, maybe it's in February.
Yeah.
Maybe you check.
I just had to stand there. I was like, wow, is it getting colder?
Yeah, once you start seeing that the time passes in another dimension.
Here's the thing. We need time to go faster. In a community group, when someone's asking for a specific set, if you've done that set, having that set ready to go in the post when you're like, I can make that for you. Here's a similar set I've done in the past. You're going to resonate so much more. They want to buy with their eyes. They want to see she's made of who wear set. If you're sitting on a phone and you're going through 20,000 photos, you're not going to find it.
Yeah. So what we're doing in the Cookie College and what I've done with my own personal photos is I've created a naming structure that allows me to search poo. Spelled the correct way.
Yeah.
And it pulls in all the Pooh Bear stuff, right? So I can be the fastest draw.
Yeah. So I have made mine. I have my macarons. There's a folder of macarons. So in there, if someone's asking for macarons, I can go right to there, find the one that I like the most to post. Cake pops in their own.
Yeah, that I honestly think it's going to take a whole month for you. But another thing, clean out the Google Drive. What was once does not be needed anymore. Things that we shared to clients we don't need anymore. Clean out your invoicing software. Move it to a CRM. Those leads, CRM, that's going to take a whole month. You're going to hate it. You're going to love the results. You're going to hate the process.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, create your content strategy for the next 12 months. You're going to hate it. You're going to love it. These are massive amounts of things. The things that I like, taking all my data, turning it into a spreadsheet that pulls into a graph. I do that. I built it out one time. Took me a week. Now I just update it and the graphs update and then I can quickly reference. So you're like, what do I mean? Go to your Square, export your invoices, see what each month your income is, your sales numbers are, what your average ticket per sale. We're gonna boost that up next year, but we need those numbers in a concrete place. I would keep that in my Google Drive and update it every week. Get into a project management software. I use Asana. It did take me a while to configure it the way I wanted. Listen, you got 3 months, long summer days.
Right.
I would do that. And then I would start actually implementing that strategy about community groups.
Yeah.
Corey and I say, what you do in the summer will pad your pockets in the winter.
Yeah.
So we have a delay of like 6 months, right? That's what I typically see marketing cycles as. What I did 6 months ago is a result of what I'm seeing today. When you think of that, you'll say, okay, 434. You'll say, okay, what I did in June, July, and August has set the stage for my November and December and January. So that's what I would do. There's no end in ways to continue to optimize. Inbox zero.
Here's my tip, though, if you're anything like me. Heather just gave you a ginormous list that could take you a couple months. Focus on one. Get one dialed in versus getting 6 not dialed in.
I agree.
And that's going to be so much more rewarding.
If all you did with the photos,
I'd
be happy.
Yeah.
The other stuff we can do next time.
Sure.
We'll get to it. Let me read another text. Hi, I'm a cottage baker in Bel Air, Maryland. So you're not the winner, but you could win a month of Cookie Design Lab if you text in next week. But we'll read your text right now. You can text back to back. I don't care.
Technically, we won't be reading any new text.
Well, one of these people will win it next week. I'll only read one more right now. The rest of you guys got a second shot and you didn't even know it.
I know.
I'm a cottage baker in Bel Air, Maryland. Hey, our cap.
Yeah.
Maryland is Virginia's hat.
It looks like a graduation cap.
And we have moved over to the Chincoteague Island. And I specialize in breads. My business has been growing successfully since I started selling in 2022. I was taking orders via Facebook comments and eventually I had to automate the process. After a couple weeks of taking orders online via website that everyone says is super easy and user-friendly, my sales have dwindled. I still sell lots of sourdough, but everything else seems to have been reduced by over 50%. I've started using edits and making excellent posts and reels, and I have a lot of new followers, but the sales aren't picking up. I hope it's just that time of year, and come fall, everything will go back to normal, but perhaps you twin goddesses of marketing could shed light. That's going to go straight to my head. Shed light and share some suggestions to me. I've been following you guys pretty much from the beginning, and your advice has always been on point. Thank you for all you do for the baking and small business community.
You're so sweet. Here's the thing. When you start from nothing and go to something, you are going to feel an uptick in everything because you went from 0 to something.
Here's the issue with this text. There's multiple layers.
There are layers.
So I'm going to say the first layer is moving people to a website extends your funnel.
It extends your funnel. It lowers your social media reach.
But it also lowers your risk.
It does.
So we have coming and going there. I think still a great move. I would not move that back to Facebook. I've just seen so many people this week who cannot access their Facebook pages. Okay, we got that. We got the extended funnel. Okay, that's not the only thing. We are in our slow time. We are in our slow time. So if you're seeing that atrophy, that's very on par with the industry. We can't just say, okay, well, that's what it is. So I don't have to think about it. We have to look at the whole picture. She did say, I did make a change and I noticed a result. Sometimes those are feelings. What are your numbers telling you?
A big thing is I was sending all the sourdough to the police department because my husband works for the police department. And then one day I just stopped. I was like, you know what? I'm not getting any glory law and honor back, no feedback from them. This week, they said, where are those cookies? Having limited drops can create that fervor back in the business. Instead of having the sourdough chocolate chip cookies on the menu all the time, what if we limit, hey, you're getting a limited drop. I only offer this 3 times per year. Now you're creating FOMO around these things that have cut the 50% of the...
So she's using promotions to kind of resuscitate some weaknesses here. Now, here's my question. Here's what I would say, that the website's not the culprit. Sourdough sales haven't dropped. They're still taken on the website. Yeah. So my thought is maybe the content could shift a little bit. You're making reels. That's great. Are you only featuring sourdough in those reels? Let's diminish. Sourdough's strong. So let's diminish that and let's increase the weaker products if we want to sell them.
What you're going to feel, though, is sourdough bread in general gets more engagement because people love to think sourdough bread.
Also a lower price point in regards to what custom does.
Yes, absolutely. So when you make your content shift from the breads to maybe the cookies, you're going to see a drop in that engagement. And that's going to feel like maybe I'm doing this wrong.
Now 2 things are down.
Yeah, but what we're doing is we're something that is high. We're bringing down something low to bring it back to high.
Thoughts on this? She's clearly selling sourdough. It's increased.
Yeah.
Give the sourdough people a sample of something that's not selling.
Absolutely.
Right. So you can see that we can't really diagnose exactly. We can create, and these are why I do use graphs. We can create graphs to kind of see what those numbers actually are. We can create notes within our graphs to say, here's where I pivoted, here's where the what. But it's a cohesive approach because she is right. Everything gets slower. Are you yawning in your closed mouth?
Yeah. You have to not.
That was appropriate. It's just your mouth is wide open, closed. Everything kind of shifts at one time. The chess pieces are moving in a game. It's like we're, like when cookie turntable. We put the chessboard on a cookie turntable and we're trying to play and it's also dark and it's raining. And it's hard to see which pieces we should move when we're also blindfolded, and we're trying to say, okay, did the website because of the sourdough orders didn't tank, something shifted there. I think we're looking at industry. I think we're looking at content focus, like industry and time of year. Content focus may have...
I'm going to say, when you have something that's selling so good, you're going to focus on that.
And then your audience, your bread audience, people who buy sourdough and people who buy sugar cookies are different people to me.
They are.
I love both, and you'll see both in my gullet at any given time. But the sourdough people, I'm like, you like how your stomach feels. You like your stomach lining to be healthy. You like bread, delicious. The people who are like sugar cookies, I'm like, you're also my people. You like sugar at all times.
To me, I feel like people who buy bread internal. I want to eat something that is good for me. Cookies external. I'm bringing this to an event.
So maybe you could create some content buckets. Do not stop posting about sourdough. Yeah. But let's strengthen up the weaker buckets and say...
By giving them more airtime. You are going to see a little bit drop in engagement because it's not something that
we're creating an audience that actually isn't there. I wonder if your audience has dwindled or they have thought you shifted and don't sell it anymore.
And I'm also curious, are you doing markets, weekly drops, or is this custom order? Yeah, so there's some questions.
Unfortunately, like they always say, in marketing, the answer is it depends. And it depends what I would do. If this is a slower time, you're in Virginia, so it was also be muggy for you. Oh, I'm sorry, this is muggy. We're all on the East Coast here. We're all sweating. I would say the next couple months, try to focus on that other side.
Just build it up before we get into the...
Yeah. What do you want your December to look like? Yeah. Whatever that is, focus on it now. I would not blame your website. Websites have only been known to increase trust, to increase order process. It increases your funnel. Hate that, but I love the fact that it keeps everything more organized.
And professional,
Okay. Thank you so much for texting in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for Cookie Design Lab.
Yeah.
Code TWINS for 15% off. You can buy it by the month. I really like it. It's a really, really, really easy way to make a cookie cutter.
For people wondering, I did not call Heather to help me set up my bamboo, but I did incentivize her to come to my house.
When, Corey? Finally. uses the printer I set up, configured, and loaded with filament.
It's got a nice little spot.
When she does, I will be setting her up on Cookie Design, which I have an account with. Very quick, easy way to make a cookie cutter.
Nice.
I was in Fusion yesterday because I needed to make a cookie cutter.
Take that off the table.
I need to drink a big
old
It's so
milk.
close. You spilled down your shirt. You don't even know. I'm telling you, most of this water is absorbed by my shirt. This is that thing. If you guys want to get the Twinterest last on, this water thing has kicked my butt.
Yeah.
But I am drinking more water than I've ever drunk.
Drinking my water.
Okay. Cookie Design Lab, 15% off, code TWINS, but text in 571-556-5644. And I want to say thank you, Cookie Design Lab.
Yeah.
For
Thanks
stepping
so much
on
for stepping on up.
We'll have to think. If you guys can think of and text in a jazzy name for the segment.
Yes. We like puns and things that rhyme.
Yeah, if it uses the same first letters. If it rhymes.
Yeah.
If it rolls off the tongue.
We love that.
Love all those things. Tell us about the Cookie College. What's coming?
The Cookie College. So what the Cookie College is a membership. If you are looking to do everything we just mentioned in the podcast, you want ideas of content to post, that's a great place to get it. If you want to know how to get to inbox zero, that's a great place to get it. There's courses in there designed to make you more efficient in your business. It is not a baking membership. There is no baking. You do get my recipes and things like that. It is more business bakery focused. And it's a monthly membership. Currently, how much is it?
$76, because you forgot.
$76.
But it will be.
It will be.
$68. The last week of July, which takes us for the first 2 days in August. That is the only sale that will run until the event that shall not be named.
The venue blending.
So this is your one shot to get this, to make your summer worth that. All the things we talked about in that question.
Yeah.
How to clean out your Google Drive. How do you get to inbox zero? How to, I think I make graphs. Well, the Excel one is coming because I love a spreadsheet. How to do all that stuff. How to take better photos. How to clean. You can join the photo challenge, in which case there's tips and tricks on how to
set up
organize
a
your photos.
newsletter is in there.
That will be the only week. Now, if you're like, girls, I was going to sign up now, you can sign up now. You can get all this content now. You'll get the 4th of July class when it drops this week now. And come that sales week, you can switch your plan to grandfather yourself into that sales price, which you could maintain until the event that shall not be named.
Right. So that is what's going down now.
Corey has a very cute setup for the Independence Day, 4th of July class.
Very, very cute.
I had to print off the cutters last night.
It's adorable.
Very, very cute.
Very cute.
I'm working on a digital download. Corey seemed to think it was very
I thought it was
creative.
adorable.
The digital downloads is a membership. It's also included in the Cookie College, but it's also its standalone. If you're interested, it's $10 a month. Cancel anytime, but you get all the content that's been posted.
Yeah.
The digital downloads is a cookie cutter STL. That creates a thank you cookie, of which I provided the print file for various designs.
If you're wondering, I had made a post in the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group. Just look up thank you cookie and it says the strategy behind it. But everyone posted what their thank you cookies look like. And a lot of people are like, I didn't even know this was a good idea. So this is where you could maybe come up with your...
So I created it in a circle and it says thank you for your cookie order with a blank spot in the middle for you to put your logo, or you could add any text you want. Again, it kind of works with the Eddie printer if you have like the big blue one or the small blue. There's so many.
You could even do it on wafer paper if you want to.
Do it on wafer paper. This is just so, and then there's a Halloween one, a Christmas one, a cutesy one, a school one. And you can just print that same thing on each of these cookies so that this thank you cutter is themed but could last all year.
Yeah, very, very cute. It's
all right here in the schnoggin.
Moving on to our sponsors. Without them, this wouldn't be a thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, we have 2 Facebook Lives.
Oh, you're right. This week.
We have a Facebook Live. Today's Tuesday, so tomorrow's Wednesday. You guys asked. Flip Insurance took forever to answer, but they got through. So Flip Insurance, if you don't know, it's the insurance that most cottage bakers add on to their house policy. Like, it's a separate policy, but it covers the liability of cottage baking in your house.
So if someone gets sick off of your cookies, if someone trips on your stoop, these are the things that you would contact your food liability insurance program, and that's something that they would cover. So there's so many questions around it, and there's always so many questions around insurance. How much do I need? When do I need it? Can I take a break from it? That's what he's going to answer in this tell-all. It's Grant and his friend, and the friend has been working there for a long time. So I'm excited because I think there's so many Q&A that people want to go down.
That'll be tomorrow, the 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern. I told Grant, please send me the video. I'll upload it to our YouTube channel on the Facebook Live. So all those, because Facebook's depreciated, Facebook Live so much that they get deleted in 30 days. So they live forever on YouTube if they send them to me. Then on this Saturday, so that is Saturday the 7th, at 12 p.m. Eastern, getting Google reviews with Eddie. This girl has turned Eddie into a powerhouse of Google reviews, which has great rankability.
Yeah.
So you can catch those too.
Which is fantastic. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Next up, without the sponsors, this wouldn't be a podcast. First and foremost, we have Royal Batch by Bakety Bake. What is Royal Batch? It is a meringue powder. If you're making royal icing, the key ingredient is meringue powder. Genie's Dreams, apparently, people cannot find it. I've seen so many posts.
I saw a post. I think they canceled a
big order. Like a giant thing.
It was a giant order. It said the word 30. Was it 30 million pounds?
Yeah, 30 million. I think it was like 30,000 pounds.
It was something
crazy. Or it could be 3,000 pounds. It was a lot of threes in there.
Yeah.
So if you're not able to find Genie's Dreams and you were freaking out, here's the thing. This is your time to try Royal Batch. I have posted my recipe in the Baking with Sugar Cookie marketing group. The meringue powder already has vanilla extract in it. You can add more or a different one if you want to. It has white food coloring in it, so it whips up bright white. You're not going to have any off cream color thing. You don't even need to add it if you don't want to. And it has corn syrup in it to give it a softer bite. So you don't have to add that. If you wanted to, you can always add it into that. That is still available. Can you get it in the 5-pound bag and the 1-pound bag currently?
You don't think we can?
No, I think you can. And I wondered if she still had the sample packs.
You can get it in 1 pound, 5 pound, sample 50 gram, sample 10 pack.
Oh, nice.
Use code TWINS, 10% off.
Yeah, TWINS will save you 10% off in that order.
I mentioned Cookie Design Lab, but I got to get my shout out again. I love it when a sponsor steps up and says, let me go the extra mile. Cookie Design Lab, STL software, web-based, very easy to use. Code TWINS, save 15% off. Or text in 571-556-5644. Be entered to win a month of that membership. We got a new sponsor onboarding.
Who?
Baking Me Crazy.
Baking Me Crazy. They're a Bendy Blending.
She had messaged. She was like, I'm from the Bendy Blending. I was like, I know exactly who you are. And don't mention that word. She's like, can we just I said, I think I actually got to start planning it next month. And she's like, let's just pretend we don't have to. I don't have any details yet, but she's onboarding. She was like, yeah, I love the audience. I love the sugar cookie market.
So everyone loves Baking Me Crazy.
Baking Me Crazy. The backers code. Use code Sugar Cookie to save 25% off on these backdrops. If someone is like, I'm just getting started, what should I buy? Outside of the basics that you need, an accounting software, a Facebook page, maybe a newsletter that you got to pay for, I would say, and get a backdrop. The photos are how we sell these cookies.
Yeah.
These backdrops allow for a very either clean design or a very custom backdrop that really makes these photos pop.
Yeah, really. I mean, the white matte finish is my go-to. If anyone asks me which one you should start off with, that is the most versatile one. You can dress it up, dress it down. You can use it as is. It's not distracting, so it's not going to take away from your cookies.
The issue with the granite countertop. Granite, love it. Granite, busy. Why? Hide spills.
Yeah.
Busy takes away from picture.
It does. It does.
So if you're using your granite countertop, you haven't tasted the sweet nectar of a discounted Backers Co. backdrop. Use code Sugar Cookie, 25% off. Eddie, the edible food printer. Those digital downloads I was just talking about, will use Eddie.
Yeah.
Corey's going to create one for me, she said.
I said I would make you one cookie.
One cookie. You can print on a cookie. So when I say I created a thank you cookie with 5 print templates you can use and then add your logo to the center.
And you're like, printing ink, someone's going to get sick. No, the same food coloring that colors your icing into colors, that is edible food coloring. It's the same thing that comes out of this printer head. But it prints like a printer prints on paper.
Somebody in the cookie college had asked, and I love people who think like this. They're like, I don't want to take on debt. I don't want to put this on credit. I don't have the funds available right now for an Eddie. What are your thoughts? And I said, typically, I'd always say pay cash because I don't like paying interest money.
Yeah.
But I said, if you can stomach, if you have a plan in place, the Eddie would pay for himself swiftly.
Yeah.
And in this case, and because I knew how she worked and she's very strategic, I said, for you, it would be a yes for me.
Yeah.
You can finance them. They have it on their website how to do that. And then you could buy a used one. I love a refurbed.
Yes.
But you can also, there's another Facebook group where you can buy used Eddies.
Yeah. If you really want to, get on their Facebook page and their Instagram, and it will show you how people incorporate Eddie into every single custom order.
I don't see why wouldn't it be. It's a stencil replacement, really.
Yeah. And I want to say, not to buy a custom stencil, That's maybe a 3-parter to achieve half of what Eddie can do.
Corey has airbrush PTSD.
My airbrush open in so long.
Why? When Eddie's right there.
Yeah.
When Eddie's right there, why?
And then
why
now so many cookie cutter shops are now creating PNGs for Eddie. No brainer.
It unfortunately, because it has 2 really great avenues, corporate, wedding, large scale orders, but also streamlining customs. It is a 2 for a win. Not cheap, $3,000.
No,
not cheap.
And if you leave them in the box, guess what? You're not going to like them. But if you get them out of the box and you utilize them,
I didn't think you were going to step on my toes without a warning.
It's been fantastic. And I'm not even utilizing Eddie like other people are. Other people are printing on royal icing transfers, putting it on
there's
the
some
cookies.
There's some people real good at using
real good at it. Real good.
That takes. Do you have a twin twist?
Do I have a twin twist?
How are you wearing your back straightener?
I am wearing my back straightener. Here's the thing. Someone texted Heather about my yearbook debacle.
Oh, so sorry. Not more than one person reached out and gave Corey these phenomenal workarounds for if you missed episode 213, the yearbook debacle, save the day.
Save the day. So the principal was like, I love the idea of giving him a piece of cardstock paper that's the same size as the yearbook, 8x11, letting everyone sign it like as if it was a yearbook, and they'll insert it in there. So I finally got the yearbook shipped to my house yesterday. I got
the resolution is Corey and I don't have to drive them. They said we'll ship them. It's fine. And then they did the papers. It worked.
I mean, more work for me, and I deserve every ounce of it. But
it could have been worse.
Could have been worse. Could have been around.
So what was your twin dress? I thought you were saying
that I want to say thank you for whoever said that. Yeah.
Kim, and I think somebody else gave you another great idea. Isn't that so funny? You started a podcast less than 5 years ago. You make a mistake on a yearbook last week. Somebody from the podcast from 5 years ago says, here's a tip to save the day.
Great. Thank you, loves. Love.
Do you have a twin twist?
That was my twin twist.
Oh, that was your twin twist. What are you holding up? Hold it and show it to the people.
What do you think this shape is?
My grandmother said none of her brain cells are firing when she called it a lollipop.
This is a part of the Independence Day cookie class kits, which will drop on the 7th of this month. And this is the cutest shape.
What a nicely printed cutter. Who did that for you?
I don't know. A snow cone.
Snow cone. Yeah, so what are the shapes for the Independence Day?
We have a snow cone.
We have a popsicle.
Bomb pop, yeah.
Bomb pop. The fireworks pop. The Uncle Sam's hat.
Uncle Sam's hat.
A firework pre-exploded. A rocket.
A rocket.
A firework post-exploded.
Explosion. And a flag.
And a flag. Great.
It'll be cute.
And the colors are red, white, blue.
Red, white, and blue. And
gray.
Gray. And then the stars, don't worry, no one's going to have to pipe them because those are actually very hard to do. It's these little sprinkles.
Smart.
That'll
be a cute little set.
Yeah.
If you guys are wondering, you can sign up for the Cookie Class Kits membership, but that'll be on sale as well. And you get that in the Cookie College. My twinterest, I'm going to still say, it is this posture thing. It is so frustrating.
It's beyond.
You've been very straight. You're actually leaned back in your chair.
Yeah, is it like
it's working. Back? You're like past the point of upright. You're backwards.
I'm going to say I did try. I said I was going to test it wearing it while I was baking.
That's hard.
That was insane.
It's also impossible to wear at a restaurant. You will be frustrated.
My daily goal is complete.
189. You guys can see I have it on my back. YouTube people.
Look, it's just kind of dangles. It was celebrating with confetti.
It had a little confetti. You and confetti windows.
I love, that's what the yearbook said. Did you see the confetti? I said, no, I didn't. And they're like, well, you never made the book.
You didn't order it. I'm still into this posture thing.
I love the posture thing. I don't think it is easy to use while baking.
I think it is your admin desktop work.
Yeah.
I think you could wear it on a walk.
Oh, definitely wear it on a walk. Walk through the mall at a dinner.
But not while you're eating. So what you can do is turn it off. Oh, shoot. I got too hot. Okay, we're going to wrap this up because the camera said, good girl.
Wrap it up.
Goodbye.